Alright, so as the title of the video says, I wanted to talk with some of you that know me, or some people who may have stumbled across this video who want to know about JD Byrider. I want to talk about my experience with them. Now, I paid off my car February 21st, 2017, so 8 or 9 days ago. Of course, today is March 1st, 2017. As of recording this, by the time I upload it, it'll be a different day. That being said, yeah, wanted to kind of go into it and what you should expect going there. Now, if you don't know what JD Byrider is, it is a buy here, pay here place. So when you go and buy the car, you are paying for it there as well. It's not through a separate bank or anything. They have their own financial department right there. So I will tell you that the reviews for places like that are not very good. Most buy here, pay here places, they're really just out for money. I know some dealerships, they're willing to work with you on some aspects, but JD Byrider really, they're not really. Now, my experience isn't that bad. I really didn't have a bad one with them, but there are some things you need to be aware of before you even walk onto the lot. First of all, the cars that are there are fairly low mileage. They're not super high. They're probably in the low 100,000s. That being said, the years can vary. Mine was a 2005 Buick. I know they've had some 98, 99s. I think they had up to 2007, 2008, but I don't think it really went any newer than that. So, what I am going to tell you is those cars are probably worth, at best, if you're looking, maybe 4,000 to 5,000. Mine was worth about 3 when I drove it off the lot. The prices that they put on the lot are much higher than that. They are approximately $9,000 to $10,000. So they are charging double, sometimes triple what the car is worth right from the get-go. Once you have decided to go with that car, they're going to, I mean, they tell you everything. They line it out for you. Actually, I can show you. This is a copy of my contract right here. This is there's a lot of paperwork here, but this is everything that you will go over. The price that I paid every 2 weeks, not monthly, every 2 weeks, was $178. $178, okay? For a 2005 Buick, $178. So that comes out to monthly $356 per month. Now, like I said, the lot price was around $10,000, and it's around 9 to 10 for any of the cars on their lot. You still have to pay interest on the car. Now, I don't know exactly what the interest rate was. I can't remember. It was probably somewhere around 30%. Somewhere. It might have been a little bit less, but somewhere around 30%. All in all, after everything was said and done, I did the math today. I paid $16,200 when it was all said and done. And I paid the car off early. I didn't go the whole term, because if I had gone the whole term, it would have gone until August of this year. And yeah, paid off a little bit earlier than that. So yeah, just be aware that you're going to be driving home with a car that's worth probably $2,000 to $4,000, and you're going to end up paying, unless you pay it off super early, you're going to end up paying 6 to 8 times what the car is worth. And I mean, there's not anything you can do with it. There's no negotiating on the payment. It is what it is. I could have gone out and gotten a 2014 brand new for probably a lower monthly payment than that. The problem is places like JD Byrider are they help out people who have little or no credit. I use help out loosely because they are ripping these people a new one when it comes to what they're charging. Because these people, myself included, don't have any credit, you can't go get a loan somewhere else. It's pretty much impossible until you establish some credit. By the time you establish your credit, you've probably already almost paid the car off, or have paid the car off itself. There was a point where I thought I had enough established credit to get a loan when I owed about $6,000 on it. I still couldn't get a loan somewhere because I didn't have a cosigner. My credit history wasn't long enough for them to want to extend, you know, $6,000 to me. But I wanted to show you guys, I don't want to show the contract number, but I want to show you I think this right here is fine. I hope that you guys can actually see this. I'm not sure if you can, but that right there, those were my charges. Right there. You can see clear as day what I was paying for the car. When you factor in the interest, it was about $16,000 that I ended up paying. So yeah, I wanted to let you guys know before you even step onto the lot what to expect. Once you actually get there, the salesperson that I talked to was very informative. He was very kind at first. It was a pretty nice guy, probably because I was coming in to buy a car off of them. And so I wanted to think on it for a day. I wake up to a message from him saying, hey, you know, come on in, let's wheel and deal. So yeah, I went in and I told him what kind of car I was looking for. I wanted a 6-cylinder because it's not like I'm going out drag racing or anything, but I wanted something with a little bit more power than a 4-cylinder. So that's what I wanted. I know it's not exactly easy on gas, but I felt like that's what I wanted. That's what my first car was. I enjoyed driving it, so that's what I wanted. So we go out and he pulls the car up. I can't remember what the first one was. Honestly, I can't recall. I go and drive it, not really feeling it. I bring it back and he seems impatient. He seems irked that I didn't want this first one. So he goes and gets another one. That one smelled heavily of smoke. It was, I think, a 99 mercury or something, and it drove well. It wasn't bad, but I was with my parents at the time and they forewarned me not to go with the vehicle. So again, didn't go with it. He was getting more irritated that I wasn't picking the car that he had selected. So we went with the 2005 Buick. Drove well. Really didn't have any complaints about it. You know, it was fine. I mean, it was definitely better than the car I had now. And looking back, I'm actually very glad I picked that car because there was only one problem. One problem I had with it, and it really wasn't that bad. I got it taken care of after a year or so. Yeah, the problem, it was something that I had to forego for some time before I took care of it. But anyway, finally decided to go with that one, and I asked if there was a way maybe they could fill up the tank because there was such a small amount of gas. I wasn't even sure if I could make it to the gas station. He's like, I don't know what to tell you, bud. So fortunately I was able to make it to the gas station and get gas, but that kind of sucked that they weren't willing to help me out with that. So once you've decided on the car, if you're trading in a car, they'll take the keys and essentially have you sign this thing that you're giving it to them. And then you go into this room where they have a camera and they lay out all this paperwork for you to sign. I've got my signature on pretty much everything. Date February 15th, 2014. This is the form right here that odometer disclosure statement on the car that I was trading in. Yeah, so a whole bunch of papers here. Again, because I don't want to show the contract number, I'm not going to show you everything, but just expect to sign the whole bunch of paperwork. Now the warranty is interesting. I think I can show that. Yeah. Let me cover that up because that's the VIN on the car. But so this is kind of their warranty. You can pause this and read it if you want. It covers the engine, electrical, transmission, but it doesn't cover everything. Warranty's not bad, but one thing you will notice is the duration is 36 months or 36,000 miles. Now, the average that somebody drives per year is around 12,000 miles. I'm not even at the 30,000 mark yet. I'm at around 28, 29,000. So I didn't end up reaching that. But you'll notice 36 months, that's 3 years. The contract that they lay out for the payments extends past that. So their warranty ends before you even finish paying the car off. If you go the full contract term, that's kind of shoddy. But that being said, after I left with the car, they didn't really harass me or hound me or anything. There were 2 times that they tried to get a hold of me. One was because there was some hiccup with the insurance, and the insurance was reporting for some reason I didn't have full coverage. So I had to have my insurance company fax over that I had full coverage on the car. So that's with any car that you buy from a dealership or buy here, pay here, you have to have full coverage on it. Up until you pay the car off, then you can do whatever you want. So they called about that, and then there was a time where my payment didn't go through on the due date. The next day came, they called me and said, hey, your payment didn't go through. It's because the CV code on my card had changed, so got that straightened out. Now, one thing I am also going to tell you is they are very strict on telling you that you have to pay on or before the due date. They don't want it to be a recurring thing where you're paying late constantly, because if you do, they will come and take your car away. It is what it is. A lot of reviews on JD Byrider, and you'll see a lot of them are like, you know, I went a day without paying my car and they came and took it away. What they're probably not saying is they probably had done that multiple times, and JD Byrider's like, look, we can't have you keep doing that. We're sorry, we're taking your car. I do think it's wrong that just missing the payment by one day, they're coming to take the car. I don't know the full story, it's just what they're reporting, but I can tell you that I did miss a payment by one day, and all I got was a phone call asking, you know, where's the money, basically. And once I took care of it, I never got penalized or anything like that. So, all in all, my experience with them was not terrible, but I would not recommend them to anybody unless you absolutely have no choice at all to get a car with them. I was in a position where I didn't have any credit. I didn't have money to go buy another car. Nobody was willing to co-sign with me so I could get one from a dealership. I was on my own. So yeah, I got screwed financially pretty bad. $16,000 for a $2,000 car. The car drives well. I'm thankful I have it, but I really got screwed, and I just don't want you guys to go through the same thing I did. So if you are somebody who can get a cosigner, get one. If you need a car and have no other alternative at all, then yes, you can get one through JD Byrider. Just be prepared to pay a lot of money. Oh, one more thing. The down payment on the car, I'm sure you saw on the payment detail that I showed you what I ended up owing on the car. The down payment is something like $1,600 for my car. I paid them $400, but that wasn't the full down payment. So before any payments were actually applied to the principal, I had to pay the down payment. So every 2 weeks I had to pay $250. I'm a guy who was working a retail job that I was working off commission, so when the commission was all average, I was making like $10, $11 an hour. I was barely able to make those payments. I'm someone who I'm living at home right now because I can't afford to live on my own. I can't even imagine somebody who's paying rent and this type of car payment. Are you kidding me? I don't see how anybody at all could do that. I don't see how. That's probably why they get such negative reviews. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you are able to at all, avoid the place. They weren't mean. They weren't hassling me all the time, but you will get screwed financially. I can tell you that. You will be losing out on a lot of money. I guess that's about it. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know my experience and what to expect. And if you have any further questions, or if you have your own personal experience with the Buy Here, Pay Here place, feel free to comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you have any other warnings that maybe I didn't cover that you'd like to let other people know about. But yeah, that's really about it. Hope you guys have a good one.